You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Raiders once again, and to a certain extent, you can bring the Patriots into this because obviously Josh McDaniels was with the Patriots forever, and I made a video yesterday. I guess I made some people mad because I called out Tom Brady. Now, guys, I mean, you can look up right there. I am a huge Tom Brady fan, but I still feel like if you're going to have a podcast to talk about current NFL issues, you cannot dodge the Josh McDaniels Raiders news. You just can't do it. That is podcasting on the NFL malpractice, all right? It's the biggest story. So, yeah, you got to cover it. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'll call you out for it. I don't care. So, speaking of not caring, Rob Gronkowski has just smashed Josh McDaniels continuing to get a paycheck. Now, I don't know what's going on with Tom Brady, with Rob Gronkowski, but it feels like there is a little bit of heat maybe between Josh McDaniels and those two guys. Now, he calls out coaching contracts and the fact that they continue to get paid in full, guaranteed after their firing is bullshit. And I've got to be real with you. And he brings it back to the players. Look, Micah Parsons called out this same situation, and Micah Parsons was wrong. There is a difference between the players and the coaches. No matter what anybody thinks, no matter how anybody wants to look at it, there is no salary cap for coaches, okay? And owners own these teams. They have the right to spend their money on coaches however they want to. If they want to bring a guy in, sign Gruden to a 10-year contract, and fire him a year and a half in and then pay him the rest, that's that owner's prerogative. Now, a lot of times what happens is there's a buyout involved, okay, or a settlement for the amount of the contract, and then there's also language in there that makes the coach have to attempt to find more employment. They can't just keep drawing a paycheck and not try to go to work doing what it is they do somewhere else. They either got to go to media, whatever, all right? I think they have to actually go back into coaching, though, to offset that. But, yeah, there's usually some offset language, whatever, all right? But the biggest reason you can't compare the two is the train wreck of Deshaun Watson. I mean, that's why there's differences. There's a salary cap for the players, all right? And you've got a major injury factor, which you're seeing with Deshaun Watson right now. All right, he messed around and had, his second good game with the Browns, and I could still have nitpicked that thing apart the other day. All right, and probably destroyed it once I looked at the film. But you got Gronkowski coming out here, nailing Josh McDaniels, continuing to get a paycheck. And I find this crazy. There's something going on here involving McDaniels and former Patriot greats. And it's pretty wild, really. Raiders are searching for answers after firing Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler. Both franchise leaders were with the team for nearly 2 years before they were let go. Former superstar tight end Rob Gronkowski discussed his feelings about McDaniels' firing and his contract. By the way, we will cover the Antonio Pierce thing, too, in practice squad players. Gronkowski details what is wrong with McDaniels' firing. This is what Gronkowski had to say about the situation. Quote, I feel for him a bit emotionally, but, boy, here comes the but, and it's a big-ass but. But when you really think about it, this guy signed a 6-year deal as a head coach. He's going to get paid out for those 6 years. So he's getting head coach money for the next 4 years of his life. That's total bullshit. Wow. Gronkowski said via Up and Adams show. The veteran tight end continued, quote, these coaches should only be getting contracts that are only like halfway guaranteed. Us players, we only get 2 or 3 years fully guaranteed out of a 6-year contract. Gronkowski emphasizes with McDaniels, but when it comes to the money he will continue to receive from the Raiders, it does seem bizarre for a coach to receive money for a job he's no longer performing. However, Vegas can afford it if it was part of the original contract. Regardless, the Raiders have a lot of work to do as they look for new leadership. McDaniels and Ziegler were unsuccessful, but their efforts helped pave the way for a brighter future, maybe. The Las Vegas fans eagerly await the next head coach and GM of the team. Yeah, and it should be noted, I absolutely think Josh McDaniels should have got canned. I mean, he had lost that locker room. It's kind of odd because I wonder if Belichick has lost his voice with the Patriots in the same way McDaniels did. Of course, we found out about the very damaging team meeting and the altercation between Antonio Pierce and McDaniels. Max Crosby has come out and disputed that, but I don't know. It was clearly a train wreck. The players were very happy he was gone. And you could see it in their performance in the game, their response after the game, and the response to this guy. Now, we'll get to this video because he's doing something very different with practice squad players, and frankly, I like it. I like it a lot. But very quickly, back to Gronkowski. Again, there are differences between players and coaches, all right? The system is not set up the same. If he wants to say the system or the way the owners handle it is bullshit, okay, that's fine. But the fact is, the odds of a coach blowing out his ACL the same way a player would, it's just not there, all right? The reason you don't see fully guaranteed contracts is because of injury risk. That is the biggest thing. And it's franchise crippling, all right, because of a salary cap. There is no salary cap with coaches. So that makes all the difference in the world, all right? It's not the same thing. I don't know why players keep bitching about it, complaining about it. It's just the way the system is set up. If you want to say the system's broken, okay, but at the end of the day, these owners own their own team, and they should have the right to pay or eat as much money, in this case, as Mark Davis did. He's eating that money. Well, it's his choice to eat that money. He could have kept McDaniels on for, the rest of his contract. But he didn't, so he's paying out for it. That's just the way it works. So I don't know what's going on there. So here we go. Antonio Pierce changed the way that practice squad players are handled. Practice squad players usually are not on the sidelines for games. His explanation tells you all you need to know about why the players are all in. This is a player's coach. This is so good.
Practice squad players on the sideline yesterday. If that is the case, why was that important for you to have them down there on the field?
They got a Raiders uniform. Them guys bust their tails. Last week was just 2 days. This week it'll be 3 days, and they're giving us looks both on offense, defense, special teams. They're working out in the morning. They're in the meetings. They're in everything about it. But then on game day, where are they? That wasn't my belief. I've been at other places, either as a coach when I was in high school or college. Every man's in, man. If you're on a team, you're a part of the team. You're there on game day, and I just felt the way that we practiced those 2 days and what we asked them to do, they deserved to be on our sideline. They earned that right, and I hope they don't stay on practice squad. I hope they push themselves to become on the active roster, and that was the carrot I dangled in front of them, and they brought energy on the sideline. Now, it was a little busier than I'm used to, but you know what? I'll take it when they bring that kind of juice that they did.
Okay, so I love that. He's telling you, look, practice squad players are very involved during the week, very involved with game plans, very involved with practice, running. Sometimes they grab a quarterback or a running back. If you're facing a mobile quarterback, they get out there, they run scout team, all this kind of stuff. And then you get to game day and the practice squad players are nowhere to be seen. They don't get to enjoy coming out on the field, being on the sideline, the energy, all that. And he's saying that's bullshit. They should be able to be out there because they contributed significantly during the regular football work week. I love that. And I can tell you right now, players are going to love that. All right? They're going to love that. Ari Mevrov on Twitter or X. That dude is a really good follow, so make sure you guys check him out. But he had the video on this, and it's went viral. I mean, 8.4 million views is a hell of a lot of views. It's clear, and look, fans are loving this guy. I mean, they are loving this guy, really. He's been around a week, has completely changed that team around. Congrats to him. The Raiders better not make the same mistake they did with Bisaccia. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Right now, just curious, where are our practice squad players usually on game days? They're not around. Usually, they're not around. Player coaches are the best. Are they? I don't know. I mean, Andy Reid was not an NFL player. Kyle Shanahan was not. Sean McVay was not. Bill Belichick was not. Look, I really like Antonio Pierce, and I think for now this is the right move, and he absolutely deserves a shot. But as a 49ers fan, I suggest and preach caution. All right? This is almost exactly the same response Niners Nation had to Mike Singletary in the very beginning. Oh, I mean, it's frightening how close this feels. All right? We all remember the energy that Singletary brought to the press conferences and all the I want winners, all that kind of stuff, and everybody embraced that, and all the fans cheered when he was named the head coach, and it was a dumpster fire, okay? It was a dumpster fire. So I do caution, I do say, hey, just hold off to see how this is going to go. But as of right now, it looks really good. It really does. This is a great move. Not only does it hype up the sideline a little bit more, but it also gives the practice squad an opportunity to visualize themselves for active roster. This makes everybody push each other a little bit harder. Make him the head coach. Antonio Pierce needs to be hired as the next coach immediately. You got to wait. All right? You just have to wait a little bit. Quote, you're there on game day, real one. Players who played and turned to coaching automatically command a respect because they have been there. I think Mr. Pierce can get this team above 500 by the end of the season. Let's watch. Good move by the coach. This guy gives me hope. I really hope he works out for the Raiders. I love the energy. Raiders Nation cannot get enough of this guy. There's no doubt. I mean, there is no doubt this sumbitch is extremely popular. All right, he is really popular, and I can tell why. He's got a ton of energy. He's very likable. I remember him being so hard-nosed with them New York Giants teams, and he absolutely deserves a chance to win this job. I mean, if he coaches them and they're 500 the rest of the year, I feel like if he can go 500 the rest of the year from here on out, all right, you don't even have to make the playoffs or anything like that, but let's say they just go 500 the rest of the year. The offense looks better, all right? That's one big one. If the offense looks like it did the other day and all of this, then I think you have to give him at least a year. We know Mark Davis made a massive mistake not giving Rich Bisaccia at least a year. You got to give him at least a season to see what happens, to see if that energy continues and that momentum continues. And Mark Davis didn't do that, and it turned out to be a nightmare. It really did. Man, there's so much interesting things going on around this entire Raiders team and the head coaches. How's the offense going to respond? Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. Josh McDaniels fallout with ex-Patriots kind of shitting on him. I mean, I didn't see that coming. I didn't. I mean, you automatically would think, okay, Tom Brady loves him. Rob Gronkowski loves him, right? I don't know about that. It doesn't seem that way to me. Is Josh McDaniels just really unlikable? Because that's kind of what I'm taking away from it, that he is just highly unlikable. God. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.